My name's Stillman Cunningham. I'm a musician and technician. And today what we're going to do is we're going to replace this battery inside this ENSONIQ SQ1 PLUS. Now notice that when I was on checking out some of the YouTube videos, I noticed that none of them showed the SQ1 PLUS how the battery being changed. So we're going to be the first to do that for the SQ1 PLUS. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go do this in stages. I'm the kind of person that I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to get right to it. So when the next time we come in, the next stage will show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay? Okay, let's get to it. Okay, stage 2. This is the back of the keyboard, and as you can see, you got to remove all the screws that's on the back of the panel. Let you get a good shot of that. Now, I've already removed the screws from it. So what we're going to do is on stage 3, we're going to take the panel off and let you see what it looks like on the inside. Right now, I only put in only 2 screws, which is located here. Located over there. And we're going to take this panel off, let you see inside. Okay, we have removed the screws, so let's take a look inside. We'll take this panel off. Now, as you see, this is the actual panel for where the battery is located. At a word of precaution, when you're doing this, if you're a novice and you're not feeling safe about doing this, have a friend of yours or a technician do this. But you're a do-it-yourself or you want to tackle it, okay, we're going to go through the stages. Okay, let's take a location of where the battery is. Let's look around and see. There you have it, right there. There you have it. That's the battery. Let's see if we can get in a little bit closer for you can see that battery. There you go. Now you notice the battery number is a BR2325. You can also put a CR2325 battery in, but I wouldn't recommend that. But if there's a situation where you just got to have a battery in there temporarily, you can use the CR2325 temporarily. But I prefer you, if you can, kind of get a one that says BR2325. It usually works better and it's usually safer. Now, this battery is soldered in. That's what it is. It's soldered in. It is not clipped in. Although it looks like it's clipped in, but it's not. If I take a pin and pull that up, that is definitely soldered in there. You're not going to get that out of there unless you solder that. And that's our job. We're going to go take this, remove this panel. Let's get a clear shot of this panel here. What we're going to do is we're going to remove this panel. That's what will be our next step. It makes it easy for us to go ahead and take everything out. And then we'll have to turn it over and then we'll have to resolder it. So we'll come right back with that. Okay, let's go into the next stage. One thing I like about doing when I'm doing any type of solder work or if I'm working on any kind of board, I always want to mark the connectors. This board is going to have to be removed. So, the way we're going to remove this, if you look at the top, and if you notice here, all of these here, you're going to have to take those nuts off. Those jacks, you're gonna have to take those nuts off. At the same time, what will be a good idea is, even a novice, if they're not sure, it's a good idea to go ahead and mark the connector before you disconnect it. So what I usually do is I usually put a mark there. I'll put like a mark there, maybe a 1 or something, to let me know that this is where it's supposed to be at. And this is where it's supposed to face. Most manufacturers usually make the connector where it usually goes in one way. So you usually don't have to have a problem. So what we want to do is we want to mark that, and then you want to disconnect it. So let's disconnect it there. There we go. Like that. And as you can see, if you can, I got a mark on there. So I know this is going to go where it's supposed to go. And at the same time, a lot of time, if I make a mark 1, if you go back to where the socket's been pulled at, we pull that there, make a 1 there also. So we make a 1 there. There goes. This is one, number 1. That's 1 there. You can see the mark there. Okay, so we know this goes here. Alright, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Excuse me while I'm doing this. I'm usually trying to do this by myself. Other part of the video, I will have some assistance on it. So I'll try to do this swiftly as possible. Okay, let's go right to it. This is a Molex connector. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put like 2 marks here, but we want to put it at the top like an arrow, let them know this is going to be the top. This is going to be the top. I want that to be the top, so I'll usually try to make an error. Look like my marker's not going to work. And then also it'll let me know that the red is on the left side. It's on the left side. So I should only be able to put this in there only one way. Okay, so we're going to disconnect that. There we go. Nope. It looks like you only can go one way. Now, I noticed this. Somebody else had already marked this. I have not been in this computer. I have not marked that, so that's not my mark. But that is an excellent idea because another technician may have been in here and he marked the connector, which is a good sign because that means that lets me know that the red is going to be on the top left side. So that's great. That's great. That's great. The top left side. That's great. Like I say, excuse my cameraism. I'll try to get it as accurate as possible. Now, what fan's not really showing, that's what I want to see, is the ribbon cable. Now, usually ribbon cables only go in one way. So, all we had to do is lift this one out. So, generally lifting with a ribbon cable, be careful with them, because some of them have clips, or tiny clips on the end. So, let's check and zoom in and find out if there's a clip on the end. That particular clip on the end. Alright. That is a clip. Let's go back here and let me zoom out. Go back in again. It looks to me that is a clip. We need to pull it outward. Let's see if it'll allow us to do that. If not, yes it did. It did allow us to move it out. Let's see if I can get the other one. Yeah, let's see here. Yes. There we go. It pulls right out. Pulls straight up and out. And note where we pulled it from. Note where we pulled it from. Now notice here on this particular board, if you zoom carefully, you see a bunch of other pins. Fortunately, this board has set up to where, let me go back out, I'm sorry. It has set up to where it can only go one way. And the pins, the other set of pins are smaller. So what we want to do is make sure we pull this out. You can see where that goes. And it goes right there. Now, if you're still not sure and it looks confusing, mark it. When in doubt, always mark the area. I'm going to mark the area at the base. And it'll be right here. Right on the outside of the base here. It'll let me know that that's where that's going. Okay. I'll make sure you got a better marker because this marker's not very good. So, okay, so we did that particular part on the disconnecting. We're going to let you see it, like, get a good vision of it. Like I say, get the camera work. Okay, so you know it goes there. You know where this goes. And you know where this goes. Okay. Alright, we'll go to the next stage. We'll come back for the next. Okay. We're back. Okay. We have took the screws out of the board, and this is what the board looks like. I'm going to flip it back the other way. As you can see, this is the board. And what we did was we screwed it out from the base, which is up here. This is what it looked like when it was in. So we took the screws, the basic screws out at the top there, and then unclip it. And when you unclip it, there's a plastic pin that holds the board in place. I'm going to show you what that plastic pin is. If you look closely, that plastic pin right there holds that board in place. So once you take the screws out, remember to squeeze that and it'll pop the board loose. Now if you look over here, over to the side, you see that bracket there? That holds that board in. That bracket there holds that board in. And also right here, go down, that bracket right there. That bracket there, that bracket there. Those brackets there hold that board in place. So, and it'll pop loose. So there you have it. And next step here, what we're going to do with the board itself, I'm going to show you something here that you're going to need to see. That's the battery, as we know. But when you turn it over, if you look down closely, you'll see two little dots. I'm going to show you where they are. Right there. Those are the two spots right there. So we can get a little closer shot there. Those two little spots there, that's where the battery is. We got to unsolder those. So, but what we're going to do is, before we start to solder that, it'll be a good idea to mark what is the positive and the negative. It'd be a good idea to either mark the board or take a piece of tape and mark plus or minus on one side at least. So you have an idea when you unsoldered it and put it back, what is the positive and what is the negative. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to take time out, we're going to mark that board. All right, we're back in a second. These are some of the mounts that you can get to mount any of the pieces you want to mount onto the board itself. First time when I made my first purchase, I noticed that when I got the battery, which you see here, you see that battery there, if you notice, that is a Panasonic. That is the original battery that actually goes in there. That's a Panasonic 23. Let me get the strap out of the way here. That's a Panasonic 2325 battery. Now what we want to do is we want to install a mount for that battery. The first one when we purchased, we noticed something. The first mount here, we noticed that it was just entirely too small. And it's usually it'll fit a CR battery, which is about the same size of this. So since we noticed that this was too small, we had to go back and reorder one, and we finally found one that will fit. That's this one here. We found out this was custom made by Keystone. They made a battery just big enough to house what we need. So altogether, that size will definitely fit inside of there, and that's what we're going to install on that circuit board. So when we come back, we'll install that on that circuit board. Okay, let's get started. What we're gonna do is right now we're gonna clean the surface of the solder joint where we're gonna solder pad it. So what you want to do is you want to take a little bit of alcohol. Take a little bit of alcohol here and put it on the brush. And then what we're gonna do is surface area. We want to clean it. So we're gonna clean it real good. Now I don't want to take the mark off because I already know that this is the area that I want to solder. So what we want to do, we just want to wipe this a little bit. Not very clean the solder part there. I'm gonna clean just a little bit of the area there. See, I still got my mark. So I'm gonna clean just the area there. All right, you want to have a good clean surface first before you start soldering. Okay, it won't take but a few seconds to do that. Okay. Now, after we have done that, what we want to do now is take our soldering iron. Give me a few minutes so I can get my soldering iron. It's near the camera. Okay. Here's the soldering iron. And what we're going to do is, what we want to do is, we want to loosen that solder up. So there's two ways you can do that. You can use a solder sipper, or you can use a braid. Here's a solder sipper. I'll show you the solder sipper. This is a solder sipper. You've probably seen one on it. So what you want to do, you want to gently, before you do that, you want to clean your tip. It's most important that you always clean your tip. So what we want to do is, we're going to take some solder, and we're going to put it on our tip. And take a sponge and gently wipe it quickly. That'll give you a nice tint. Give you a nice little tin there. That means it's ready for accept. It's ready to accept the solder. So we're going to, now that we've done that, I'm going to use that solder sipper. I'll keep my iron here, you can see it. And I'm going to heat this up. And as I heat this up, I'm going to sip it. So here we go. Heat it up. There we go. Solder sipper. Do it. Look at it. Check it. Do it again. Now, judging by this here, they're telling me there's a whole lot of solder in there. So, we're going to clean the tip again. So, we're going to clean the tip again. Okay, then we're going to try it again. I'll try to make this quick. And we'll try the next one. Again. In some areas, the solder sipper don't always do real good. Now, the solder sipper took a vast majority of a lot of the solder off. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a desoldering braid. Give me a second. Let me find the desoldering braid real quick here. Okay, this is a desoldering braid. And what you want to do is, you want to put a little bit of flux on the desoldering blade. For you all that never soldered before, flux is probably the most important thing you ever want to use when you're soldering. Because it's going to work for you. Because you're going to need it 100 times over. Every time. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of flux. Take a little bit of flux. You can do it one or two ways. You put a little bit of flux on here. And I got a little bit of flux on. You see, I got a little bit of flux on the screwdriver. Just a little bit there. And just a little bit on the other one. to take the desolder braid and you want to lay it on there and work it on there like so. Hope you can see that. It's working good. See that? And another one right here. Oh, great. Great, great. Cleaned it up real good. Cleaned it up real nicely. There we go. So it's gently coming off. So not to waste any more time. You're seeing how I gently start taking solder off of here, take solder off of there. Now when I come back, we're going to have it off and then we're going to resolder everything back on. Okay, we have taken the old battery out and you can see what it looks like. That's the old clip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the base in. I'm going to show you what a base is. Okay, this is the new base. That's the new base that we're putting in right now. It's already onto the board right now. We just put it in. All we have to do now is turn around and solder it in and then it'll be ready to go. Okay, we're back. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to solder those joints in, and all you have to do is put a little bit of solder on your, iron. You can do it. Well, now I need to clean it because that's probably why you see a blink thing on the camera. Make sure you can get in there so you can look at it real good. Here we go. Just need just a little bit. There you have it. It's done. Okay, and we're back, and that's what the battery looks like. As you can see now, the base is big enough to hold any big size battery for that, and BR2325 will fit very nicely. And it's easy to replace. It slides in and slides out, plenty of room, and it's tight. So, and we'll see the end results in a little bit. Okay, and we're back. We had now just installed the board back in place. As you can see, there's the new base there. Looks great. Big enough to put the battery in there. Okay, so let's see, give an overall view. The board's been placed back in. As you can see, put everything back. Connectors back in place. Connectors here all around the area. Back in place. Very good. Okay, so let's fire this thing up and see what happens. Okay, we plugged it up. Let's turn it on. There you go. As you can see now, it is baby grand. I have it hooked up to it now. Let's see. It works. I'd like to give a special thanks to Mauser Electronics for allowing me to purchase that one special size, and Keystone Company for making it. So if you got any questions or comments, please feel free to subscribe or just write your comments. I hope this video was helpful to you for anyone who wants to replace the battery or the battery mount itself. So we thank you. We appreciate your time. And hopefully we will be seeing you soon on the next video. Okay, this is Stillman, the Technician Man. Anytime you need any questions or comments, feel free to make them. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.